Hi, everyone. This is Katie Hamilton, holistic nutritionist and health transformation coach at Body Love Mission. And we help you to heal at the root, which means that we need to identify all aspects of our human experience here: mental, emotional, physical, spiritual. And part of our Body Love monthly membership program, we offer you the opportunity to ask us questions so that you can gain clarity and insight into what you need to know to create this opportunity to heal at the root and make better choices. So, two questions that came in from our participant, I would like to share the questions and my answers to them in hopes that this provides you with guidance on your journey. So, the first one is what to do when you are eating emotionally, feeling driven to binge eat, or just eating for comfort. And so, who here has done that? I know I spent most of my life using food to numb my pain, to stuff my emotions, to feel pleasure. And I have to say that I'm finally at a place in my life where I know I definitely eat and experience pleasure when I eat, but I no longer use food to stuff my emotions. And so what do I do? I've spent many years developing tools and habits around um, understanding how to be present with my emotions, that my vulnerability with myself is not a weakness, and that when I really listen to my needs, I don't need to turn to food to stuff things down. And so this is a really great question because this is something that we dive into in our longer program, and we really do support you with these tools. But I'll give you a couple of tips right now. And one thing is that you can ask yourself when you're going to reach for a food item, ask yourself, why do I want to eat this? Is my body asking me for this fuel, for these nutrients, for this food? Or am I running from something? Am I stuffing an emotion? Am I wanting to ignore, something that I have to deal with that is just too stressful? Am I trying to provide myself with some sort of reward, food related reward, because I work so hard and I'm so stressed out and my life's just not that great? So I'll just eat this food and that's going to make me feel good. So when we're driven to use the food, we have to become, I would suggest this level of awareness is the first step. The awareness that you are doing it. So, in that moment, if you're going to go grab for that cookie, you can ask yourself and stop and just simply say, why am I going for this cookie? Do you really just want a treat and to enjoy that treat? That's great. But if you are going for it out of ignoring something inside, you notice that you'll probably eat way more than one cookie, right? And one of the ways that you can help to curb this food addiction that I used was I actually started eating more fruit. I used to be really afraid of fruit. I thought fruit would make me fat. Fruit was too high in sugar. And I was definitely brainwashed by the trendy information out there, even though I was a nutritionist. It wasn't until later in my practice that I helped myself heal from chronic illness and chronic pain and binge eating as well and emotional eating. And one of the ways was reaching for fruit. And the reason is that when we're under stress and emotional stress, our body is naturally craving more sugar. So it's not bad that we're craving sugar. It's that we're going towards the wrong sugar, the sugar that is processed, the sugar that is also mixed in with the high fat dairy and the processed gluten and wheat, right? And the cookies and the muffins and the donuts and the bagels. And so, what we want to reach for is what the body's actually asking for, which is the fruit. The fruit provides you with really key nutrients and support to soothe your nervous system, to fuel your brain, and to actually cope with stress. Wild blueberries, an incredible fruit that will help to support your nervous system and cope with stress. There's any fruit that you can grab will be amazing, but wild blueberries is top notch. So, yeah, this is one of so first thing, ask yourself when you're about to go to that food, what do I really need? And if you're sad, if you're feeling lonely, if you're feeling depressed, then what you really need is to be emotionally vulnerable with yourself. And what you really need is probably to turn to your journal and write and listen to your heart and maybe cry some tears, moving your emotions, right? When we're in a stagnant, depressed state, we are numbing to the emotions and we're freezing our emotional body. When you free up that emotional body and you move it, I know there's a lot of fear around feeling deep, deep pain and emotions that are challenging to feel. But when you're in the process of moving them, you actually are freeing up that energy. And what I notice personally is I don't desire to stuff them with food. I don't desire to numb out with food. I want to nourish myself even more. And after I've moved all that emotion, then I actually want to make a nourishing meal for myself. And so part of the reason that we can, turn to foods that we know are not working for us, that are not in our highest and best interest, and we often feel really guilty after we've had an episode of emotional eating. So we know this. We turn to those foods because we are disconnected. We are disconnected from our body. We are not fully present in our emotional body, right? And so it's easier to just sort of keep numbing out with the junk, with the food. And then all of a sudden you become aware of like, whoa, what did I just do? And I don't feel so great. But that feeling, not feeling so great, is bringing you back into your body, bringing you into the awareness and anchoring you even more in your body. But then what happens is we kick ourselves in the butt and we probably go to more food because we're really upset with ourselves. So ultimately, it's going to be a holistic journey of being able to slow down, tune inwards, gain the support to really look inside at what's going on inside of our heart and our mind and do the processing. And this is something, again, that we jump into in our longer programs where we really start breaking down and dissolving the core limiting beliefs that are creating a lot of these uncomfortable emotions. We release the old trauma that is stuck in our body, again, creating these nagging, uncomfortable emotions, also magnetizing more of the very thing we don't want in our life. Because when we have stored emotion or limiting beliefs or old trauma that's unprocessed, we are actually recreating that scenario over and over until we start looking at inside and clearing it up inside. So then we can actually have our outer world mirror to us what we really want, which is the truth of who we are. And so to me, food is an indicator when we're hungry for happiness, when we're hungry for something we're not getting inside. We just keep eating and eating. It's because we need to stop and start doing this really deep personal work, because that's really what we're hungry for. And then there is no void to fill. There is no emotion to run from, because we get really comfortable being uncomfortable. We get comfortable being so real with every emotion that moves through us that we can move it all the way through and out. We keep moving it. And what's that like? A beautiful flowing river, right? Which doesn't stagnate, and start creating disease. No, it's just constantly flowing. Okay. So if you're interested in healing at the root with us, reach out. We can absolutely support you with that holistic journey. And it is a holistic journey in my own experience, which I can only really speak from, and the hundreds of clients that I've supported over the last decade and a half at Healing at the Root. It is absolutely a holistic journey of approaching the mental body, the emotional body, the physical body, and the spiritual body. And I never thought personally that I would be free of emotional eating. I thought this would be something I will manage for the rest of my life. I will always have a sugar addiction. And I can confidently say that I'm free of that. And that is something that almost brings me to tears, because that is something I want to help you be free from, because it can be very, very consuming and debilitating to have that disordered relationship with food. And what I realized, it was a disordered relationship with myself first and foremost. And so when that started to come back, that came into alignment. And when I truly do honor my emotions every day, I am checking in, I am tuning in, and I am emptying my barrel of my core limiting beliefs. I feel free of turning to food, and I feel really excited to nourish my body. I feel really excited to eat food that is high nutrients, and yes, it tastes delicious, but it's not coming from a place of trying to fill a void. It's coming from a place of love, and that's the shift that happened for me that I would love for you, if you are experiencing that in your life. So we are here for you. And I hope that this supported you. And I will be answering more of your questions in videos to come. Ciao.